where the African Soccer Fiesta, known as African Cup of Nations, AFCON 2023, is here. And all the footballers, the best footballers in Africa are on display. And you cannot take anything away from African football because the fiesta going on is parading the best of stars and the best of soccer. Welcome to Platform Media International. My name is Joe Ehizode. With me today is Bob Sensei, Sierra Leone ex-international, now a coach in British Columbia. Bobson, how are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Bobson, like we predicted last time, the fireworks is on. And you see, we said it here that we bring all the bits and news behind the news to all our teaming supporters across the globe. Côte d'Ivoire versus Guinea-Bissau, 2-0.
Yes, 2-0.
The host won. Egypt, Mozambique, 2-2. Egypt, as a matter of fact, struggled to the finishing line. Scored the last-minute penalty by the acclaimed Mohamed Salah. Nigeria versus Equatorial Guinea, 1-1. And finally, Ghana versus Cape Verde. Ghana lost 1-2. Bobson, there's no superpower in African soccer anymore.
Well, as I mentioned the last time, it's the toughest tournament that people underestimate, and now this is only the first few games that I've played, and so far we have seen a lot of surprises. And surprises mean our so-called superstars, you don't even notice them on the field.
Okay, so what has happened that the minors, we used to call them the minors, have caught up so easily with the big nations? What is that? Because all the nations we see, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Egypt, Nigeria, all the superstars are playing outside Africa. And they are claimed to be one of the best in Europe. So why have these nations, Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Equatorial Guinea, caught up with the big nations in Africa?
Because let me give an example, Egypt, Nigeria, all those teams, they have superstars. And the teams that are doing very good right now, as I mentioned, every team is capable of beating each other. Look like a team like Mozambique. They play as a team, and I was looking at their lineup. There's no superstars. And those guys, the way they played today, I was very impressed.
Bobson, remember that I told you about Nigeria Super Eagles. I still maintain it, that they will not be the first two. Now I realize that CAF is saying 3 will qualify.
Yes.
But if it were to be 2, I will promise you that Nigeria is not going. But today is 1-1 against Equatorial Guinea. But Boston, let me tell you something. Like I keep saying, since Nigeria started winning the Nations Cup, 1980, 1994, 2013, there is a sprinkler of home-based players. As a matter of fact, in 1980, I think we had just 1 or 2 professionals, Godwin Odie, who came, and perhaps Okesima was still a local player. In 1994, we had local players, Aloy Agu, Wilfred Agbonovare was already in Spain then, but we have local players that with Clement Westerhoff. As a matter of fact, when he was building all those teams to the Nations Cup and the World Cup, most of those players who went to 1994, they were local players. Then Keshi, Stephen Keshi, when he went to South Africa with the Super Eagles, in 2013, 6 home-based players, I'll give them the names. Nigerians will remember. Ejiko Zoyem, Azubike Gwoke, Chiboze Agbi, Godfrey Obobana. Godfrey Obobana came from one team in Akure and manned the center defense with Kenneth Omeru. And they had a very clean championship. They won. But right now, not one from the local league. People tend to tell me that the local league is there, and therefore there's no local player in the local league. That's an insult.
Well, it is an insult, but the reason why most of the home-based players do really good in tournaments like this, because our so-called professional soccer players, one, they have big contracts. And when they have big contracts like this, sometimes they tend not to give 150% because one, if they get injured and they go back to their club, it's going to affect them. Then you have the local players. These guys, they're looking for contract. They're looking for, pretty much, they're looking for jobs. So when you put these guys on the field, not only they're going to give 150%, they're going to make sure that they excel to the point where scouts and coaches out there, when they see them play, guess what? Somebody going to pick them up.
The AFCON Championship is not a parade of stars. Neither are they going for beauty contests. It's for us to win. So if the local players bring the cup home, why not accept it? So why go for players that are not motivated, players that are that don't want to break their legs, those are players that are not committed? Why bring them to the championship?
Because
you played soccer before. Why are the local players treated with ignominy?
No, because now soccer is business. And business in the sense wherein if you bring the superstars that are well known, then guess what? A lot of people come and watch. Example, when our so-called superstars arrive in Africa, everybody want to see them. Everybody is running after them. What about our local stars? They walk past, you don't even notice them. So that's the reason why when we bring in our foreign-based players, the volume of our level goes up, but the standard of play normally just average playing.
Okay, let's go down to specifics.
Yeah.
Now, you saw what I'm saying about giving the platform to new players. Al-Hassan Yusuf of the Nigeria Super Eagles is an unknown quantity. As a matter of fact, he was not going to the Nations Cup until he got injured. Bobson, who was one of the best players in the Super Eagles team today?
Well, Yusuf was the best player because he was controlling everything, and from what I saw today, the way he was playing, when he get injured, then Nigeria have a little problem. It goes
to qualify my argument that new players should be given the chance to excel and not relying on superstars.
Well, the reason why we rely on the superstars because they are talking about Osimhen. Osimhen is a proven goal scorer. But today, look what happened. Look at the chances that he's missing. This is a guy that is scoring goals in Europe. But when you come to African soccer is different because guess what? Those guys, teams that are using local players, they are very hungry. They want to make names. So that means when they step on the field, they don't care who you are, where you come from, they're there to prove a point.
There's one other thing that I want to also bring to viewers' attention. The weather. If you are playing in Africa, if local players who are used to the weather play in African Championship, they will not have problems. The foreign players were gasping for breath, 32 degrees centigrade with high precipitation. And I can see some of the players were falling down, they were getting cramps. And these are because these players are coming from sub-zero temperatures and going to 32, 33 degrees centigrade with high humidity. And that's another thing that people should consider. When you played, I don't know whether you were professional then or you were local based. So was that a factor?
Well, yes, it is, because I remember one year when we went to Sudan. I've never seen or go to a stadium. When we came out to warm up, when I looked up, 90% of the people in the stadium, everybody's wearing white. And I keep asking myself, why? And I talked to some of the Sudanese players. They said because it's very hot. That's why all the Sudanese people that were watching the game, everybody's wearing white so that it can be a little bit easier on the heat for them. Then again, the Nations Cup, the FIFA gave every team 2 weeks to prepare. Or
to acclimatize.
Yeah. So if some of these coaches, they don't release their players on time, then they get there 2-3 days before. It's going to be hard for them because the humidity and everything else in Ivory Coast is very, because look what is happening. Some of them are cramping, some of them are running out of breath and can't even run.
So what impressed you about Nations Cup today? Is it the organization? Is it the player, the coaches, or what has impressed you so far?
Coaches is out of the way. There's only one coach that kind of, I would say, okay, maybe first game Mozambique. But so far the organization and the way Ivory Coast prepare for the tournament, the stadiums, and the performance, the opening ceremony, kudos to Ivory Coast. Job well done. Made us as African, we're very proud because when you see those stadiums, you think that you're in Europe.
Yeah, I can also see the
Yeah.
coverage, the media coverage.
Media coverage.
There's a 360-degree media television camera.
Yeah.
Which happens in any part of Europe, and it's come to Africa.
Yeah.
So kudos to
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast and CAF,
Yeah.
because CAF is the marketing body. So what about, you mentioned about the organization. What about the pitches? Do you see?
Few pitches were a little bit bumpy today because those ones, I don't know why they did not do a good job on some of those fields. But
because I understand that when you mow the lawn on the pitch, you are supposed to water it.
Yeah.
But those pitch look so dry, and I can see the ball control is very faulty.
Well, yesterday I was listening to my brother Daniel Amokachi, is one of the reporters there. He said he was there at the field when they were trying to level the field. He said normally when they do that, they're supposed to put some water on the field for maybe an hour, so that the next day the surface is going to be at least playable. He said, but it was there for more than an hour. There was no water, there was nothing. So that's why the field was
Dry.
really dry. The ball was bumpy.
Yeah.
Now, looking at our so-called professional players, they are not used to play on the pitches like that.
Okay, we'll talk about specifics. Did you know, I think you should notice that, because as a former player, there was not the cohesion among Nigerian Super Eagles. They cannot string like 6 passes or 4 passes together. Is that a result of lack of confidence? Is that coaching, or they're scared, or the pitches are bad?
Well, you can look at it in different ways. I'm not blaming the coach on that, because as a professional soccer player or someone that's been playing soccer for a little while, you should be able to adapt and able to control the ball and do your little passes. So for them not to be able to make 2 or 3 passes, I don't understand the reason why. I can understand once in a while the pitches are very bumpy and all that, but a team like Nigeria, with the kind of players that they got on that field today, I was not impressed, but I'm still going for them that they can go all the way.
I told you in Group A, Nigeria may not come out. And in Group B, I told you that Ghana too may not come out. And look at it. Nigeria 1-1, Equatorial Guinea, Ghana is a loss to Cape Verde.
Yeah.
And it goes to show that maybe I have the third eye.
Well, with Nigeria, the way they played today, yes, they did not win the game, but they tried their best. They did what they're supposed to be doing. The only thing, the result did not come out. The guy that we thought was going to score the goals have the chance, he did not finish. Then we go to Cape Verde and Ghana. I was very impressed with Cape Verde too, because Ghana was kind of disappointed, even though I picked them to go through in their group. But the way I saw Cape Verde play today and Mozambique, those 2 teams, it's good that 3 teams going to go through from their group.
Are the players motivated? What did you see in their body language?
Which team are we talking about?
I'm talking about Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria.
Well, Egypt is out of the question, because our so-called superstar Mohamed Salah, I was watching the game. This guy's supposed to be a forward.
An engine room.
And he was, what was he doing? He was leaving his position, coming down to the midfield. And I said, why is he coming to play center mid when he's supposed to be up there playing as a midfield? And nobody noticed this guy. The only time we noticed him when they were down 2-1 and they got a PK and he went and took it.
Bobson, I tell you, the tournament becomes sweeter for viewers when there are surprises. African Cup of Nations 2023 or 2024, this is the 2023 edition, and that's why I called AFCON 23, although we're playing in 2024, is a splendor of surprises. It's a platform of surprises. That's why it's becoming interesting and captivating. Ghana 1, Cape Verde 2, Nigeria 1, Equatorial Guinea 1, Egypt 1, Egypt 2, Mozambique 2. There's no big boy amongst the National Cup anymore. We want to see more surprises so it become more interesting. The era of people being blown away is gone, forever. That's why African football has come of age.
Yep.
And it will be of interest all over the world to see that the known quantity, maybe Mozambique or Sierra Leone, maybe one anytime, because Sierra Leone is not in the Nation Cup.
one.
Yeah, maybe one of these unknown countries or little known countries will carry the cup, and
Well,
then other countries will not have to sit up.
as I said last week edition, I said the African soccer tournament is one of the toughest tournaments. Every team is capable of beating each other.
It's like the EPL, British League.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Bobson. I can't thank you enough for coming to the studio. Bobson, let's see how this thing goes.
Well,
And you still maintain that Nigeria and Ghana will still make it. Well, I'm not that hopeful, and I hope our viewers will listen to us. I'm yours sincerely, Joe Ehizode, presenting. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. It's no longer Twitter. We are there to give you all the bits and pieces. Tune in and stick with us. Bobsy, thank you, and I wish to see you again in the studio.
We're going to be here again next week. My people, we're going to bring you everything that you need to know about the African soccer tournament that is happening in Africa. Tune in for Platform Media International to get all the latest information that you need to get.
Thank you for the endorsement. Have a good night, guys.